Hello and welcome to SkySwitch University. In this unit, we want to discuss product catalog creation. So it's going to be important for you as a white label SkySwitch reseller to put your product catalog together, the prices, the products and services that you want to offer to the market. And of course, you want to make sure of margin and make sure you're charging enough in the market in order to win business but also make money. So we'll discuss some of these things as well as just the process and some questions that come up in regard to product catalog creation. Now to get started, you're going to want to go to our SkySwitch knowledge base, and we can just search for example, and we'll see here reseller product catalog example. So this is how you will find the product catalog example. Now I've already downloaded the example and here it is. Now at the beginning here, it's going to just ask some company information, reseller, the SkySwitch reseller ID, but then here we're going to ask whether you're going to use these products and services in our quotes tool. Our quotes tool is a third-party app that we've integrated into our platform, and it is by Socket App. You can view more information at socketapp.com. And also the billing services that we offer for our resellers is a third-party billing platform by Rev.io. So I'm sure you've heard of both of these probably through the sales process. Now, there is a form here that you're going to need to fill out, and it is information that helps CSI set up your tax database. CSI is Compliance Solutions Incorporated. They are the company that maintain the tax database that's integrated with Rev. And so when you run your bills and the telecom taxes that show up on those bills, those are pulled from this tax database. Now it's important you fill out this form, and at the top is just general business information, but towards the bottom here it's going to ask you more about how your company is structured and some of the information that's important for CSI to set up that tax database, like your FCC filer ID, your USAC password, your FCC registration number, FRN password, etc., and the type of structure of your company. So it's going to be important for you to fill out this CSI account setup form, and you'll see that at the top of this product catalog example. You'll probably also receive an email that will ask you to complete this form because it is important that you do that. Okay, as we continue down, I want you to notice this important note. In Rev, there are basically two types of bills. There are single column bills that you can have or two column bills. If you go with a two column bill, there is a 24 character limit on the description. So this would be a description right here. There's a 24 character limit on the description before it wraps to the next line. So if you don't want it to wrap, or you don't want it to wrap 3 times on the bill, just keep this in mind. For the 2-column bill, it's going to be 24 characters. For the single column bills, it's a little bit longer because it's a single column, uses the whole page, and it's 44 character limit. So just keep that in mind as you develop your descriptions in your product catalog. Okay, so back to this product catalog example. We've worked with many resellers in developing their product catalogs and what they want to offer as far as products and services to their market, and what prices, etc. We do give some advice, some opinions, but you need to create your product catalog, and you need to submit that in order for us to complete the setup of your billing services account. Okay, so we've broken the catalog up into sections, and of course one of the first sections that typically you start with is your hosted services and an extension. And a lot of resellers offer an extension or a user seat as the base product or service as far as hosted services. We again are giving you examples here of what you could offer to the market and what we see our resellers offering to the market. All right, so a typical extension, and this extension would include the need to have a bucket minute plan. And I also get asked the question of whether I can have an extension that is metered, meaning every call, whether it's inbound or outbound, and it's your choice. And I'm going to cover usage rating in a different session later. But yes, you can have metered extension plans to where you charge for the extension or the user seat, and you also charge per minute. And it could be you decide whether it's inbound, outbound, or both. And so we're just offering what we see. We're just giving you some ideas here. And so this meter plan would be at 2.9 cents per minute. This would be month to month, and that would be the charge, and then the customer would pay for every call. Let's just say inbound and outbound at 2.9 cents per minute. So we see these being offered, and we're also showing that in the billing services platform you can offer, of course, month to month, 1 year, 2 year terms. You can certainly offer terms or contracts, with the billing platform. Okay, and also we find resellers with voice extensions are offering minute plans. And these minute plans are 300, 500, 750 minutes per extension, and then overage. So the calls that would be made after that would be charged at 2 cents per minute. Now let me state that these free minute plans, the 500 minutes, is not really per extension. It is more like a bucket plan. So if you sell 10 of these extensions with 500 minutes per extension, it's going to end up being a 5,000 minute bucket. Okay, just you can sell it this way, but it's not going to limit, or it's not going to control it down to each particular extension. So in that case, in order for them to go over, you could have one extension that would, have 300 minutes, another one 700 minutes, or whatever. Really, it's when they go over the 5,000 minutes that the overage then kicks in per minute. And again, we're going to talk more about usage rating in a subsequent training session. So, and of course, we see a lot of resellers offering unlimited plans. Now, typically, unlimited hosted voice extension plans are unlimited for US and Canada, and then the rest would be considered international. All right, so now I'm also pointing out here to the right to see your MSA, and that's under the reseller cost column. All right, so you certainly, as you set up your pricing here, you're going to want to know what we charge you for pricing. So let's jump over to an MSA. Now I'm going to go straight to page 13, just in this particular one, and I'm going to go straight to the WebCentrix Writer. Now there's good information here in your MSA, about the different items we're going to charge you for, and non-recurring charges, and etc. But here's the main monthly recurring charge chart that I want to point out. Okay, so you're going to want to have your MSA handy in order to determine margin. So as you look at developing your product catalog, keep your MSA handy, because here you'll see what we charge you per seat. Now your MSA could be different than these prices. This is the pretty standard pricing. Okay, so just be sure to look at your own MSA and understand what we're charging you, and then go from there. Okay, the other item I'll point out, this is in the WebCentrix Writer, so it shows you the monthly recurring charges for these different products or services. And then I will also point out the Telco Services Writer. Yeah, Telco Services Writer. So there's another chart in there that's important, because it will also help you understand what we're charging you for telco services. Here's some porting charges. You're going to want to know those. And here's the chart that I'm referring to, because this is what we charge you like per DID, toll-free DID, and then down below here, CNAM, the different things that you then will put in your catalog to offer to your customers. And then you'll see down here there's the inbound service usage charges. So typically you're going to be dealing with tier A, and you'll know that when you purchase DIDs or you port DIDs, you'll know that you're dealing with tier A. So it's just flat rate, ½ cent per minute across the board inbound, and then toll free, at 1.9 cents per minute, and then there's fax at ½ cent per minute. Now outbound, I'm going to point out back on our knowledge base how to look up the rates for outbound, or what is referred to as termination rates. Now, if you'll just search for rates on the SkySwitch knowledge base, and you'll see this article, Origination and Termination Rates for Telco Services. When you download this spreadsheet, it's going to give you all our telco termination or outbound rates. It will not only give you the U.S. rates, but it's also going to give you all the international rates as well. So it's all termination rates, outbound, U.S. and international, all international. So again, it says right here to consult your MSA to get your inbound rates, and then it gives you some usage billing increments here that you're going to want to be aware of. Okay, so you're gonna want to have this handy as well as your MSA in order to then make determinations on what you want to charge for the different products and services that you want to offer to the market. Now, those are the hosted services plans that we see resellers offering typically. Then we also see resellers offering call center services, because we provide call center capability in our SkySwitch platform. You'll see charges per seat, like for an agent or a supervisor, and then you'll also see charges for setup. This is very typical. And then we typically see resellers charging for call center queues. So like if you set up a sales queue or a support queue for a customer, we typically see that there's a charge for that. And this is due to the market. A lot of other companies that you'll be competing against, RingCentral, etc., that offer call center applications or capability services, typically will charge for call queues or and setup of call queues and agents and supervisors. So that's why you're going to see these type of services being offered to the market. Another item you're going to see and need to decide whether you want to offer is of course your fax services. We have our Instant Fax Portal and our Instant Fax ATA service, and typically we see resellers charging for a setup of those services as well as a monthly charge. And then we also see, and I'll show this later, resellers charging per minute for fax. And again, we'll cover this in the usage rating unit in the training, but also just want to point that out, and I'll point it out more later. So that's very typical what we see our resellers offering. And then we see the offering of a la carte services. And what I mean by that are additional features like audio conference room or auto attendant or call recording or directory listing, E911 activation, outbound caller name, virtual mailbox. Now I want you to notice something on these. Like for example, the virtual mailbox. You can set up a user, and we don't charge you for that user if you use it just as a virtual mailbox, or we don't charge for an auto attendant. So you'll see here that we did not put C or MSA because we don't charge you for an auto attendant. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have to charge for it with your customers. And we do find a lot of resellers that will charge for an auto attendant, and they'll also charge for the setup of an auto attendant. And in many cases, if they do the programming, like the voiceover on the programming of the auto attendant, or the programming of the voice on the auto attendant, then they will charge, of course, for that service to get that done. So other virtual services, web conference video add-on, web conference setup, and then we had our audio conference here at the top. A lot of times, so you'll understand this is having an audio conference bridge by itself. Now, the audio conference bridge in the SkySwitch platform also works with our web conference platform. So typically when a reseller offers web conference room, it comes with audio conference capability. I just want to point that out. Now later I'm also going to talk about usage rating for an audio conference bridge, whether it's alone or associated with a web conference room. Then we find a lot of resellers are charging per minute into that audio conference bridge. So I'll talk more about that in a moment. Then we see SIP trunk services. Now you'll notice we make a little note out here per channel. We charge you for SIP trunk service. We charge you per channel. So like a SIP trunk can have 24 or 30 channels. We're going to charge you per channel. And so a lot of times our resellers are offering that to the market on a per channel, or it can be also called call path basis. And I want to point out this as well. You can offer a SIP trunk channel just as a call path by itself. You could do it as unlimited, or you could offer a certain amount of minutes with a call path. You could offer 1,500 minutes. It could be inbound or outbound. So you can get granular with this, and you can offer minutes with SIP trunk channels, just like you can with the voice hosted voice service. So that's why we're pointing these things out. And of course, typically we see a setup charge for SIP trunk channels. We're also displaying here in the example product catalog that you can put our camera storage, which is our VSAS service. That's what we refer to as our CAM command. And a lot of times we see resellers offering packages like 4 cameras, 4 camera activation, etc. So we're just giving you ideas here of what you can offer there. These 4 items really aren't in the VSAS. These are just additional hardware type features, soft phone, paging adapter. I do recommend that you get out and look at our store, and I'll point that out in a minute. But of course, you can offer these type of services in your product catalog. Usage rate plans. We'll talk more about usage rate plans later, but you can build any type of overage or metered plan that you need to do. You can have multiple usage plans, 2.9 cents, 3.9 cents, 4.9 cents, so you can have them at different rates. You can have bucket plans, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 minutes, etc., and charge on a monthly basis, as well as overage. So you would have like a 1,000 minute US and Canada minute plan, and then you may charge 2.9 cents as the overage, right? So you can certainly do those sorts of things. Then for toll free, which is inbound, you can either go straight per minute charge, or you could give them free minutes and then overage, and that's why we're showing it this way. So you could offer them a toll free number with 5,000 free minutes, and then take care of it that way. And then you could just have straight toll-free overage, So we're just trying to show you the different ways that what you can charge for. We do find a lot of resellers, when they offer audio conference bridge capability, they will either charge a per minute rate, or they will offer free minute plus overage plans. Same thing for call center. For inbound, outbound, or outbound, you can do it either way. Sometimes you have call centers that are inbound focused. Sometimes you have them focused on outbound services. Sometimes they're both, and you can offer both, right? You want to be careful with offering call center applications because typically, of course, a call center has a large volume of calling. And so you really want to understand what you're getting into. And with the Rev platform, with our billing services platform, we give you the capability of setting up any kind of call center bucket or minute plan that you need to with overage. So you have that flexibility. Also, you can offer international rate plan. We'll talk about this in usage rating, but you can go with the default plan, which we have, or you can get specific on your pricing for international calling. If you have a customer that calls a specific country or location a lot and wants a very good rate, you can do that. We typically find resellers offering what we call surcharge plans. So like for a directory assistance call or a 911 call, you can charge per call. So if any of your customers makes a 911 call or a 411 call, you can decide what you want to charge for that particular call. That's called a surcharge usage plan. So you can certainly do that. Want you to understand that you can put hardware. This is hardware that we have in our store, and you'll see that here. And I want to point this out, that in Rev, in our billing services, you can bill for anything. You can bill for any monthly recurring charge or non-recurring one-time charge that you want to bill for. I have resellers that are IT shops, and they'll bill for desktop support or software support or different things like that. It doesn't have to be VoIP related. You can charge for anything that you want. If you have other products and services that you want to add to your product catalog that have nothing to do with SkySwitch or VoIP, you still can do that and charge for it in Rev and put it on that same bill. We see resellers charging for DIDs or DID setup because we're going to charge you for DIDs and DID setup. Inbound caller name delivery, of course, local number porting. We're going to charge you for certain ports, certain charges for ports. So it's important that you make sure that you're going to charge for a port as your customer brings those on. And consult your MSA. Make sure you understand what we're charging you for there, and then you can decide what you want in your product catalog. Here's phones, Polycom, Yealink, all those products, Simple WAN, and then just miscellaneous. We see resellers charging for labor or just miscellaneous charges, or on-site installation and training, either in bulk or per phone, and shipping of hardware. Okay, so this is our example product catalog, and I want to just encourage you to keep your MSA handy, understand what we charge you, and let me point something out there. If I go back to the knowledge base and I go to SkySwitch billing, and you see this WebCentrix billing calculations. If you want to know, and this was pointed out earlier, but I'll point it out again. If you want to know how we're calculating, what we're charging you, you can come to this doc and it helps you understand seat calculations, feature calculations, SIP trunk calculations. So this will help you understand how we're charging you. So when you have your MSA handy, this information as well as the rates, then you can properly create your product catalog. You're going to want to think about the market that you're marketing into. It's different. We have resellers up in the Northeast. We have resellers in Montana or Wyoming, California. I mean, markets truly are different depending on where you are. And then, of course, we have resellers that focus nationwide. And, that's kind of different as well. So we want you to develop your product catalog and submit it. You can email it to onboarding@skyswitch.com. This example should get you a long way to get you started. And the pricing is just kind of, a general pricing that we've seen, across the board. So it's very generic, but you can decide what you want to do, as far as your pricing. And really what you need to understand is what we're charging you, and you need to calculate your margin so that you understand exactly, how much margin you have, and that you have a healthy margin. And, when you then offer that product or number of quantity of that product to a customer, that you're making money. And of course, we want you to be successful. Develop your product catalog out. Now, in conclusion, I just wanted to answer, make sure these typical questions were answered. One of them I know I didn't cover, but I want to cover is to bundle or not to bundle. I usually get this question from resellers because they get in their mind that they want to bundle products together. Now, when I get that question, I encourage them to talk to their tax expert, because when they do go off and talk to their tax expert, they come back and they do not bundle. We have hardly any of our resellers bundling products and services. Now, the answer to that, which I would prefer that the tax expert answer, but my understanding is that, yes, you can bundle products and services together, but what happens is when you try to discount a bundle, the FCC, the way they view that is if you have a product in the bundle that has USF on it, then they do not want that part of the bundle discounted. They want all the other products and services discounted before you start discounting that product. And that can't be done in Rev that way. Okay? So, like I said, to bundle or not to bundle, the answer is don't bundle. Now, again, what I would tell you is have that conversation with your tax expert and then let us know. We can bundle products and services together in the billing platform. It's just that after the reseller talks to their tax expert, then they don't do it. They have specific products like hosted extensions, and now you can put minutes with those, and that's fine. And then they typically do a la carte on the rest, DID, caller name, E911 service, etc., etc. Okay, so that answers that question. Can I bill for other products in Rev? Yes, I answered that. You certainly can do that. Can I offer a metered plan? Yes, and we'll talk more about usage rate plans later. Can I set up free minute plus overage plans? Yes, you can do that. Can I offer bucket minute plans? Of course, yes. And again, we'll cover and in that in more detail in a subsequent training session. Okay, so want to just finish with a little bit of the process that's going to take place. So after you submit your product catalog to our onboarding team, they're going to have CSI tax map your product catalog, and it comes with the service. I will talk more about CSI and tax mapping in the tax telecom tax unit, which will be next, and you can listen to that then. And then the product catalog will be uploaded. Once we receive it back from CSI Tax Mapped, we'll upload it into the billing services platform. We'll upload it into your quotes tool. At about that time, you'll be hearing from us on setting up those first live web conference training sessions, and then we'll take you through those things. We'll also have subsequent training that will cover those subjects as well. This now concludes this unit. If you have any questions, just send those to onboarding@skyswitch.com. Thank you very much.